gonna be so beautiful.
It's been a year since we moved on to the residential cruise ship, the Villa Vie Odyssey, and began transforming our cabin.
So today we're going to reveal all we've done. You've been asking for it, and today we're giving it to you. Let's go.
This is what the cabin first looked like when we bought it a year ago. We asked you what you thought about it, and you had a lot to say. You really didn't like the Alice in Wonderland painting at the head of the bed. You also had an aversion to the heavy gold curtains on the windows. You certainly didn't like the old-fashioned, outdated barrel chairs. And of course, you thought the balcony was too bland.
There's a lot going on in the cabin. There's so much to see. So we're going to start with the foundation. So if you recall, the carpet that we used to have was this faded, decades-old carpet that came with the ship. It was yellow and gold. We needed to replace that. So we replaced it with this carpet. Now, it's one of the compromises we needed to make because it's very difficult to source and install carpet as we go through all of these different ports. So luckily, the ship did have a limited supply of carpet, and they were able to give us this particular carpet. It's a gray and taupe carpet, but we felt like with all the pattern, we needed to break it up just a bit. So we did that with this rug that goes on top of it. Now, we were able to source this rug from a home goods store that we came across in a port in Vancouver. So it was a lucky find, and it's soft, and it's neutral, and it really breaks up all of that pattern.
So now we get to the real focal point of the room, really the kind of living area, and we'll start with the curtains. You may recall we had curtains in here that people said looked like Giorgio Beverly Hills from the 80s. They were these gigantic gold striped curtains, and they dominated the room. Now, let me tell you, they worked, but they were a lot, and they really kind of crept out in the room. You can see we've gone very much the different way. We've done neutral blackout curtains. They're easy, and Chris figured out how to put them up with the existing rods so they move easily and everything works great there. This has made a big difference. Those were definitely statement curtains, and that statement left the building decades ago. So we're happy to have that done, and they're very functional for us. And we really like this too. You'll remember we had two yellow barrel chairs that I had tried to buy fabric covers for, that I was trying to change the color and this kind of thing. It just didn't work, but we did find these, and we found them at a very reasonable price. We've got a pair of club chairs here, very comfortable, and matching ottomans. We use these, of course, as ottomans, but also as a little drink table, and they open up and we can put stuff in there, turn them over this way, and it becomes a drink table. So we've really enjoyed the chairs, and we've turned them this way because it really opens up the room. We can turn around and look at the view when we want to, but this really gives us the seating area. You'll also notice that I have pillows. You know I love pillows, and I love these because I feel like it really pulls the room together. You'll see more in a minute, but I think it looks great. The throws that we use if it gets cold, and then some of our magnetic photos behind that we've had on the ship for a while. So this is a really different and very fun place to kind of hang out, as well as a relaxing place to be on the new rug when we want to hang out in the living room.
Now, this is a fun little area. This is our new little, we call it our kitchenette area. So it has the refrigerator as the main feature. And actually, this tiny fridge used to be hidden in a storage compartment in the desk. But we wanted to reclaim that storage area for other things. So we moved it out here for easier access as well. Now, this is also a new unit. We had an old unit originally that came with the cabin, and it was quite a few years old and kind of on its last legs. So we bought this new fridge, believe it or not, in a Walmart in Kodiak, Alaska, of all places, and we got a great deal on it. Now, we placed it on top of these repurposed end tables. So it acts as a base, and we can do a lot of storage in it and put some things on the side. On top of it is a little bit of wine storage and our glasses. Now, the hardest part, would you believe it or not, was getting power to this thing. When we first bought it in Kodiak, it wouldn't work because the ship, at least our cabin, runs on 220 power, and this is a 110 unit. So the ordeal, the odyssey to get power to this unit crossed many countries, from the US to Japan to Korea, to try to find the right transformer to allow this to get power. In the end, it was the help of a fellow resident who gave us a transformer unit that was able to get this baby to work.
Moving on to the desk, you'll recall that Chris and I both have desks, which is awesome because we like to work and we like to be in the room at the same time. So this one's mine, and we'll start by showing you that storage that we got from the refrigerator. This is where the refrigerator used to be, and you can see that we have replaced it now with storage, and it works great because we've got all these shoe boxes, a smaller one and a larger one that I keep all the stuff in, and it really keeps it organized, and it really lets you use 100% of that space. So this has kind of been great for storage. We also both got new desk chairs. You may remember I was trying to recover chairs and they were really tall. Well, we found these and we love them. They're adjustable, they're desk chairs. And one of the challenges I had was it not coming up too high this way and making sure it went under the desk hole here, because I was really having a chair that basically did that before. These have been great. We also got an air filter. This basically just cleans the air, and it has a filter that we use there. This is one of my favorite things. We bought this at an antique shop, and it's of course a little cat, Lucky Cat, that we got at a thrift store in Japan. You see the plants, my tray organization. I thought about trying to maybe drill holes in the desk and throw all the wires and stuff underneath, but I decided not to do that. So they're all black. So I bought a black tray that we had and use it for that. But overall, it's working really well. I like having as well this little cubby here. We've got storage. You'll see some more of it in a minute, but we found these at a port stop and we just love them. It allows me to keep stuff handy. That's my iPad there. And then over on the side here, we've got this. We're waiting to do something special that's coming, but we haven't done it yet. So you'll see us take more advantage of this later. Overall, the desks have been great. Chris has pretty much done the same thing, except he got a laptop cooling pad that really helps kind of reduce the heat in here. And he's got a couple of things over there that work for him. But overall, the desks have transformed. We're very comfortable. We're here together, and it all works great.
Before we show you what's in the bathroom and how it's changed, we wanted to point out this piece of art here. You may recall this piece of art from one of our destination segments in a different video. We were going through Japan and we went to this antique store and we found this particular art piece. It's Chinese writing actually, and it says, "A great man paves the way for others." And it's really old and it just has a lot of character, and we thought it would look really great in the cabin. And this area here, given its unique size, seems like the perfect spot for it.
So welcome to our bathroom. You know, this thing is not that big, but we've kind of got it working for us. We're pretty comfortable in here. You can see we started with the wallpaper. We actually wallpapered in here, and it made a big, big difference. Chris put this up and did an amazing job, and I'm really impressed that he did. The other thing that I'll share with you is we added these Simple Human dispensers. This is the hand soap, and this is lotion, and we got all these bottles and clutter off the countertop here. The other thing we did here is these motion censored lights. We actually have them here and in the shower, and it adds a lot of light to the space when we're in here. And then we just adjusted this one. This is the original fixture that was in the room, but we pulled it down. It was a little dark in here. We pulled it down a little bit, used some magnets and some curtain rings, and we got a lot more light in here. And then the last thing I'll show you right now is these. We took down the old peg hooks that were there for the towels because they kept slipping off, and we added these. These are actually magnetic, but they aren't going anywhere. We use them every day, and it really just kind of spruced up the space a little bit. Plus, it's much more functional. I really believe that the two biggest upgrades that we did in this bathroom are these two mirrored medicine cabinets. Now, we really had to do a lot to get them approved for the ship, all the way up to the staff captain. He had to approve it. And then once they arrived, the ship's team installed them for us. And it was no small feat. So thank you again, crew, for getting that done. They really give us storage, and it really kind of cleans up the clutter from the room. You may remember before we had these magnetic spice racks. A lot of folks use them, and they're very good, but they leave everything out. So you've got all this stuff tucked away, but then you're looking at your deodorant and you're looking at your toothpaste or whatever it is in those. We don't like that look. There's a lot of mirrors in here, so the mirrors kind of go with all the other mirrors, and it's really given us some great space. If you look in here, there's a lot of stuff. This one's a little bigger than that one, but we've got it all covered. Now, before we had these, all the rooms, I believe, have these over in the corner, mirrored corner cabinets, and we're using those as well. We just took new knobs that we found, believe it or not, in Alaska at a hardware store, and replaced them from the old ones that were gold and worn. So these upgrades have really given us an opportunity to really declutter, make it a little cleaner, a little fresher, and it's really working for our storage needs. So in the shower, we took a similar approach. We didn't do a lot, but we cleaned it up a lot, and it works a lot better for us. So you'll see before we had just these two corner shelves that we still use, but over here they had dispenser plastic bottles that had basically a little rack that they stayed in. We replaced those like we did at the sink with these Simple Human units that give us our body wash, our shampoo, and our conditioner, and it really keeps things clean, and we like the way it distributes. Instead of pushing on the thing, we can just pull here. It gives us also a place to keep our sponges and that kind of stuff, and still use this over here. You may remember we talked about the lights that we added. These are motion detectors, so it gives us a lot more lights in the shower. There was no separate light in here, and it really helps. We just USB charge them, and they last a long time, so it's great. And they're waterproof, supposed to be, so hopefully they'll stay that way. It's worked really well so far. Over here, we just put a couple of little stainless steel razor hooks, a shaving mirror, and just things that really just pull stuff from clutter into organization. We like having it that way. We still use these for shaving cream and that kind of stuff, but overall, it really works well in here. I think we told you before, this shower is larger than most on the ship. It's not as big as the super huge ones in some of the suites, but this really gives us enough room, and we're very comfortable in here, especially now that it's organized. Okay, here's the bed area, and I guess the first thing I ought to talk about is probably Alice's replacement. Those of you that have been with us for a while know that we had a painting that we called Alice that we gave away because it really wasn't our style. You either loved her or hated her, but in the end, we all kind of loved her because she was part of our history and part of our culture and folklore here on the channel. But fortunately for us, we found this painting, which we love, by a French artist who passed away. Actually, she and her husband were both artists, and she died, I think, 10, 15 years ago or something like that. And actually, this painting was one of her personal private collection. And it was a size that worked for me, and it's definitely kind of our vibe. And we thought in here, it's kind of what we wanted. It's colorful, but it's soft. And it really reminds us of a place we love. This is Provence, France. And so when it came together, I started bidding on it and worked with a gallery over in, I think, London that had it. And we had it shipped to the ship. You remember seeing it months ago. People keep asking. So here it is. We love this painting, and it's hung beautifully. It's perfect for the space, and it really kind of anchors the space. You know, in here with all of this wood and kind of trying to take the carpet that we selected and other things has been kind of a challenge by pulling it all together, and I think this really lets us do that. So here she is, and hope you like it. What's really neat is this piece back here. This is actually a Japanese blessing, and we found this in a thrift shop, and we had several people kind of read it to us, and it's got a lot of history. It was framed, and there's writing on the back about a celebration of an event. Chris actually found this. We were going through, and I didn't see it, and he found it. And we love it. We love it. And as you can see, it actually really fits nicely there. And the frame this is as is. This thing's got some age on it. Kind of really plays against the wood in here. And it doesn't compete as much with the new painting. So we really like the art over here. It speaks to us, and it really is a long way from Alice and before. In terms of the bed, we added a bed 4-inch like bed topper, and it's made all the difference in the world. Very comfortable, and we really liked it. We first bought a queen size, which was too small, so we had to have a king size and then cut it down, but it's been great and very, very comfortable. You can see here, playing off the dark green in the painting, we really wanted something to anchor and kind of give us some color and some depth in color in the room, and so we really like this dark green. We found these at another shop in a port. These are just pillows. I didn't want to go too much on the pillows here because of the painting. I really wanted to let it be the play here. So we have the more colorful kind of paintings with the green that you saw, as well as this kind of color in the living room. But it really works well for us. The other thing that we did, and I love this, when we added the bed risers, that was like 8 inches, and then we added 4 inches of mattress topper. That raised the bed a foot. These are the matching existing nightstands that came with the space. And of course, the color and the functionality and the matching and just the size. This is a very tight space, so we reuse them. I don't know if you can tell, but we've raised them 12 inches because we've put legs on both of these. So now they're exactly what we want them to be in terms of functionality, matching, and they're not, way down on the floor. So they're very functional for us. We've really found this to be great. Now, I've got to say, the painting right there from this French artist, Guinée Lasnier, I think is her name, has really given us the jumping off point for the room, and we love it.
The last thing that we will mention is the transformation of the balcony. Now, we actually presented that transformation in a separate video, and we're happy to say that we got really great feedback about it. We were so pleased to hear all of the wonderful things that you said about it, and we're so proud of it.
We really are. And we're proud of what we've done today, too, and shared with you. So this was not exactly what we set out to do. We didn't do it the way or exactly as big as we thought we would. But I got to tell you, we've been pretty pleased with how we did it, and we're comfortable, and we like the way it looks and lives, and we love sharing it with you. So what do you think? Please let us know in the comments. I hope you will. And if you like this, please give us a like. It really goes a long way. And until next time, we'll see you soon.
Bye.